So what's so QANX is my token, my token of choice for the next however many years. Yeah. QANX is a long hold, and it's my token of choice because of what seems to be happening are fundamentally in the world when it comes to quantum computing. Yeah. So is quantum computing happening? Is it real? People are questioning it. They're not sure. Is it a deal? Is it a thing? I think yes. I would argue yes. Um, I saw a post today. QANX, not QANX. Is it QANX? If you go on X and just have a look at quantum, um, there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of, it's like so there's so much stuff coming out. Look, bankers, quantum computing is a threat to Bitcoin. Oh, that's January. I've heard from a few people that quantum computing is showing real promise. This is like top news. But there's a lot of stuff coming out on quantum. I think I saw something today. Let me see if I can find it. I normally bookmark these things. And I didn't do it. So annoying. I think it was another institution just released some news about quantum. Let me just, maybe I'll go into Google. Maybe Google is better. News. Let's see what's still. Oh yeah, Amazon. It was Amazon. Look, see that? What the fuck? Amazon unveils Ocelot, its first quantum computing chip. The emerging race enters emerging race against tech giants days after Microsoft reveals its quantum chip. So this is a deal, huh? This is no joke. Yeah, quantum computing is now the arms race of our modern age between these multi-trillion-dollar tech companies. Yeah, it's like the space race. It's like the space race, but it's in terms of tech and chips. This is not a small thing. Now they're dealing with all kinds of challenges, whatever. I don't really know. I don't really care. But it's obvious that they're pouring a shit ton of money into this stuff. Yeah. And as you saw in a post that I just kind of peeked on, just on X. Look, bankers, quantum computing is a threat to Bitcoin. It's actually a threat to all blockchains which aren't quantum resistant. That's a fact. Yeah. Because effectively in one of those kind of Majorana whatever chips, if they can do 1,000,000 qubits, that's more computing power than every single computer that is in the world today, all at once in one chip. And they'll be able to crack the brute force or whatever, hack people's keys. And so it's a massive threat, and basically it basically defunks pretty much every blockchain, pretty much. And so what then has to happen is that businesses or companies or projects which are building on Ethereum or Solana or whatever, Bitcoin, they have to actually either wait for those chains to adapt their tech to become quantum resistant, which is a very timely and impractical process, or they'll have to just transition their projects to quantum resistant blockchains. Yeah, so there's a future that could happen as and when this develops, and this is happening really fast. Yeah, so that's kind of why this is my top pick. Yeah, and also when you look at Quant Platform, they've the partnerships with not Microsoft, with the Linux Foundation, the partnership with IBM. They've probably got more partnerships coming, partnerships with the EU. So they're full steam ahead, and they haven't actually launched their mainnet. So there are some other kind of quantum resistant chains. This one hasn't released its mainnet yet, so once it does and the liquidity starts coming in, there's lots of other kind of benefits as well. You'd have to go and do your own research and have a look at their website. So I'm quite interested in this. This is my top pick for the future, just simply not just because of the community, because they're mentally passionate about this project, but also because I've just in the whole of kind of when you look at the price action of crypto, everything's dumping, everything's crashing, and this isn't flinching really, is it? It's just you've got a higher time frame accumulation range. The volume is low, but that's what accumulations are. They're low, relatively low volume. It's just people buying over a long period of time. And as interest starts to increase, and as people start to get interested in the future and what could happen, then you're going to have more people buy, and more liquidity come into this. So that's why I'm interested in this. You've seen a lot of your people got a lot of tokens and they've dumped, they've dropped, and they're like panicking, whereas this one is just extremely resilient. So I had an idea about, I was looking at the fib time. I've looked at this in the past, and so I just wanted to kind of have a look at it again, just to kind of, I'll redo it because I drew it out and I was just thinking to myself, can we time it? Can we time the bottom? Sometimes it's possible. Usually when it comes to fib time, I'll do it different ways. Maybe from the launch to the pivot that was put in here. I'm not sure which one. Actually, I'll use the weekly time frame. Give me a second, Solana. I'm going to ask you. Let me just finish this. I won't be long. And interestingly enough, we had the 618 that gave us the high there, and the 1-to-1 that gave us a low here. Even though that low was taken here, it was still a significant low. And we're coming to the 1.618 very soon. See that? Basically next week. Now these time periods are they're zones. They're not exact dates. Yeah, they're time areas. So we are coming to a very important pivot. Time pivot. And then after that, the next one is July. Then obviously this just continues. But because I'm interested in this, because I can clearly see that this the 618 and the 1-to-1 gave us pivots. Yeah. So I do wonder if we're going to put in a pivot here. I do wonder if sometime in the beginning of March we do put in a pivot here, just based on this time pivot. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It could coincide with the mainnet. So I'm just kind of, that's why I was saying possibly the mainnet could be as a time pivot. I don't know. It's just speculation, isn't it? But it's quite interesting. Now the other way you can do this is, let me see. You could just take these kind of 3 pivots that already existed, like that. And you see, you do that, and that is quite interestingly, the 618 from here to there to there, the 618 gave us this high as well, didn't it? Interesting. Interesting how fib time works. And interestingly enough, the 1-to-1 is lined up perfectly with the 1.618. See that? Which is basically next week, March time. So you have a little bit of confluence of time. And then you also have a bit of confluence of time here in July. Here, see that? July. So there's some interesting things going on with the charts when it comes to time. I'm just making people aware of it. You know, I'm not telling people buy or sell. I think you should buy, but only because of the fundamentals of the project and of what's happening in the world. You have to make your own financial decisions, obviously. I do wonder if we do put in a pivot high here with this time pivot. And then the other question is, well, where's the low? When's the low? Because in my mind, I've got a low on some other tokens somewhere in April. And so if you just take this pivot to say that one. Excuse me. You've got a 1-to-1 here. It's basically the end of April. Okay. Again with the 618. So we're kind of coiling up. Time is coiling up. You can see that, can't you? Time is coiling, as is the price. The price is coiling too. Kind of the end of April for a 1-to-1 off this move. So there's, because I've got April, the end of April, mid to the end of April on some other things, I do wonder if that's going to become a relevant time pivot, and I do wonder if this mainnet is going to be have a relevant time pivot too. So there's a lot of things that are on my mind when it comes to fib time. And then as you can see, there's massive confluence of time here in July, and so that's a big kind of time zone when it comes to fib time. So I'm quite interested to see what happens. I did kind of brush something out, extremely speculative, extremely speculative. Yeah. Again, not financial advice, extremely speculative. And again, I don't, that who knows what can happen. I am wondering if we are doing some kind of corrective like that for another corrective like that, just to kind of ride up these lows higher. It will look like it will look bearish because it will be very similar. You'll feel like you're losing this channel, but just to kind of put in a higher low here on time again. Time is really important. So again, I'm just thinking about possibly towards the end of April, if we put in a pivot here, like that, something like that. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I wouldn't mind for us to go up to hit that monthly level, just to kind of clear the liquidity from that level, test the value area high, and then come all the way back down to the point of control on the following this trend line on time for the markets to bottom out completely, Bitcoin to start pumping, and then we could get a mega pump to the end of July, or to mid July or something like that. It's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Breakout and pump type thing. Not financial advice, it's just food for thought. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm right. I know a lot of people are interested in what I have to say about QANX. It's just an idea. So it'd be nice if it happened though. It'd be nice if we did go up, did that happen on time, come down. If we were able to not, I don't really want to see us capitulate, to be honest with you. I would like us to just go down here, another test of the point of control, test this trend line, just put in another high. I'd like that. Like that, for me, that would be perfect. And then just to be at the end of April, where everything, I think, could potentially bottom out. And then when Bitcoin starts to show some life and show some strength potentially, then maybe we can actually have a really nice breakout to the upside. There's no reason why that can't happen. Again, as I said before, there's also no reason why we can't break down. And if we were to break down, then just based on this structure, you kind of really want to come in at the value area low here. I don't like that idea so much unless it's a kind of a V shape, you'd have to see volume, and I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that kind of price action or behavior on or maybe we have, not really actually. I can't, there's a V here but it doesn't hold. None of these V's hold their neckline, and so it's more accumulation in this range than a V-shaped recovery. But if you were to go down there, you kind of really want to then just go straight up in that kind of sense. But at the moment we're range locked, and at the moment, like Bitcoin was showing weakness last night. Let's have a look. Can you see weakness there? Bitcoin's showing weakness. Do you see weakness there? 6% down, right back up. Not really. Don't really see much weakness. I'm not really seeing much weakness. And actually, when I was looking at the order books, I was seeing that there's much more buyers than sellers. So I think this is, for me, this is the top pick. If anyone is watching my videos and they're interested, I think just go and do your research, have a look. Don't take my word for it. Go to their website, Quant Platform. And what's interesting is that the mainnet hasn't been launched. It's scheduled to launch in March. And there's a lot of good things here. I don't think the crypto landscape is final, just because of the tech is changing, the real world tech is changing, and a lot of these blockchains weren't designed for the emerging changes in real world tech. So what takes over, what becomes dominant in the future is not necessarily going to be what's dominant right now. And people are looking at like Solana and all these kind of these chains, and they're thinking to themselves, oh my god, this is it, Solana will be there forever, or whatever, Ethereum or whatever. But I don't think that's true, because if the tech changes and then a lot of these chains become compromised, then guess what happens? The capital moves to new tech. So it always happens like that. Like, you're not using landlines anymore, using mobile phones. You're not using old set mobile phones anymore, you're using smartphones connected to the internet. You're not using 2G anymore, using 5G or 4G, whatever. So no one sticks around with old tech because they've got some kind of emotional attachment. If the tech changes and the needs change, then the capital will move. It will just transfer to new tech. And so if you've got investment projects going into quantum computing, and you've got a chain that's being developed to resist quantum attacks, then that's clearly it's an easy win, isn't it? It's an easy play for the future. And it seems to be that the future is coming much quicker than people think. Yeah, see, I've heard from a few people now that quantum computing is showing real promise. See that? And I think the biggest problem that they have with quantum computing is because is the error correction, because the conditions of the chips have to be in a state where the interference can change or can mess up the data. And so I think a lot of the investment is in how to correct that, I don't know, and then also how to get as many qubits as possible in a small chip as possible. But anyway, I don't really know much of the tech behind what they're trying to do, but there's a lot of stuff that you can read up on, and it's not like you don't trade this token, you buy and hold, and you just wait for the investment the capital to come in. When it does, it'll come onto the spotlight. Then you're going to get like big exchanges pick it up, start trading it, and then it's going to be like the next whatever, Solana, whatever, tradable token on big exchanges, whatever. It'd be amazing though if that happened and we got to there. But at the moment the charts are showing real nice accumulation range, quite really nice strong price action when Bitcoin is crashing. We're not seeing that here. It is coming down a little bit, but that's normal. All right,